Hello, everyone. Jane A here from Your Weight Loss. And today we're talking about how we got here. Leash,
How
this
we
is a good
got
one.
here. Hello.
You think we can do this in 20 minutes?
We can do anything in 20 minutes. Actually, probably that's our most challenging thing is to stop talking.
It's time to say goodbye now. You need to stop now, Josie. So, hi.
Hi.
I'm looking outside right now and it's really, really snowy.
I think actually, if you guys listen closely on the podcast, you might be able to hear the rain/snow hitting my window.
Oh, is it raining now?
It's kind of like hard snow.
You know that that's coming, right? It's rain later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a nice storm.
I'm glad I got my walk in when I did.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna get better. And you
No.
already showered. You're done. Done for the day. Go to bed now.
Ready for I almost changed into my pajamas.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I think what inspired us to want to talk about how we got here was obviously the event that we just did and where we got like a good 10 minutes to talk about the history of your weight loss. And it was just so fun. And we just want to keep talking about it. And
It was
also, people must be wondering, right?
Yes. And do you know what? I haven't told you this yet, but you remember how you told me to go back and listen to Kat and Nat from the beginning? And I just did on my walk. So I just listened to their first ever 3 podcasts where they're discussing like how they started their business. And I see so many similarities between like us and them.
Wait, there's like an episode, I think it's like episode 6 or 7, where they're just like talking and they're hilarious. And I just like love hearing, like, obviously, when I even listening to their stories, I'm like, not that it gives me ideas, but it gives me like inspiration to just like, man, they like really, and they were at a time where, right now it's 2021, but they really got busy, I guess, in like 2013, 2014. And I mean, just how they've evolved. And also, you were so right. So they got popular with Facebook Lives.
Okay.
Yeah. They talked about YouTube as well. Like they talk about all the things that we've talked about different platforms and how they realized that like to do fancy YouTube videos, it was so much editing, so much work, and that it wasn't like, and that the people that do that are rare. That the people that do like high tech YouTube videos and they consistently bring out that content in that way is like still it's very rare, and they saw it wasn't their forte. Like it wasn't what they could do, anyway. So all that to say, we do enjoy their story.
Yeah.
So yeah. And their friendship as
I
well.
just saw so many similarities of, and you know what? This amazing that this episode is about how we got here, because I look at Kat and Nat and you think, oh, they were just there. They're always there. They just arrived. But like you listen to their story and they hustled. They had ideas that didn't follow through. They made connections with brands that didn't continue. They reached out. Their sponsorship with it was lube. Did you hear that?
No, I must have missed it.
They were looking for a sponsor, and they emailed, they like creeped it on the internet. They emailed the PR people and they're like, we're having an event. Will you sponsor it? And they just like threw out a random number, and and KY Jelly said, sure.
Oh, that's what KY Jelly is. I heard that. I wasn't sure.
Wait. Okay, so you heard the episode, but you didn't know what KY Jelly was.
Well, nope. I mean, now that you say it, I know it makes sense to me.
Okay.
It's not the lube I use. Let's just go with that.
Okay.
But I probably buy mine at Costco. Jeff takes care of that stuff. Right.
I'm sorry, I'm joking. We need a whole nother podcast episode.
Yeah, just on lube and what kind of lube we use.
Do you want to know what the best lube is?
I do. I already know, but the people want to know. I know what you're going to say, and that is what I used to use after I bought this lube. But you're going to say coconut oil.
I'm going to say coconut oil.
Coconut oil. Yeah, it's good stuff. It can be used for everything.
Everything. All the places, all the things.
Yeah. Very natural. Muffins, vaginas, all of it. Okay, cool. There's a time where they were talking about like all the producers and all the TV shows that want to do a TV show, and they've never had a TV show. So it was like they talked about like that was a blessing in disguise to not have signed with a certain whatever. Like it gets good, Leash. It gets good. Episode 6, 7, though, we really dig deep into like how they got to where they are today, and how also they like did so many things that didn't fit who they like. They just like are also they just them talking about their husbands makes me think of us. I think that we're not full of ourselves, but we think we're pretty amazing. Like I think we think we're pretty amazing, right? But they are like next
Check.
level. They are next level. Like they're like, no, we're super amazing. Like we're gonna be popular one day, and they friggin' rocked it. Good for them. They were right. But they said they got so much shit from their friends. Like some friends were like rolling their eyes, especially when they got funny. So when they knew they had something special, people knew they were special, but wanted to like basically choose for them in what way they were gonna be popular. So as in you guys, your thing is gonna be mom fashion. They're like, we're not even fashionable moms. Your thing is going to be, you're going to be like really good moms. Like you guys are two blondes with 7 blonde children. Like like you're going to do Pinterest recipes. And like, that's like what moms want to see. And they were like, no, so they like, they were so funny. They're like, we did so many things that were like, what the, like once the camera was off, she's like, we were swearing. We're like, what the, are we doing here? Anyways. And then, they're like, we rebelled and we just like went on the air without talking to any of the people that had hired us to be perfect.
Yeah.
And they like went on social media looking like shit and
Yeah.
started swearing. And she's
Yeah.
like, we then lost some of the people that wanted to hire them, but then they found their people.
Yeah.
Like she said, then we found like Sam and they named their people and they said they knew we were crazy, but they loved it and wanted
Yeah.
to like sell that part of us. And we're like, okay, these are our people. So I love all of that.
And I wonder if they were successful because they thought they were going to like, I think they made it because they were like, no, we're going to make it.
There's a part of making it that is 100% having that mentality. And it's almost like weight loss. Like we say, if you don't think that you can lose weight, you're not going to lose weight. Like no matter what you think, you're right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? No matter what you're thinking, you're right. So if you're like, this is not for me, I'm not going to make it, I'm not going to be successful, that is exactly what's going to happen. And if you're like, I'm going to push through whatever, and you keep thinking that way, you're probably going to push through and be amazing.
But they pushed through. They pushed through their husbands being like, what are you doing? You make no money.
I know.
That takes a lot of balls to
Yes.
push
And can we also talk about the fact that they had 7 children and like they were like on the road and their kids are still small. Like I think they're amazing, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
I think Jeff would leave me if I like their husbands are good husbands though. And they keep saying that, like you'll see, they say like, no, we had 4 little kids and we're like, peace out, bye. We'll be gone every Tuesday. And like even their moms really helped out. And I just like, I really look up to that. I like it.
Okay, so
Chihuahua. Okay.
let's go back. Yeah. How are we going to do our 20-minute timeline?
Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to we can go back to 2012. Let's like do what we did at the thing, and that went fast, and then we can get right to J&A. So okay, so 2012, Jose Cormier, 25-year-old youngster is working at this point. I've been working with Weight Watchers for 2 years. So I've been working at Weight Watchers for 2 years, and I am a leader there doing meetings. And I love, and I'm so passionate with just being in front of people and making them laugh and being so real about weight loss, right? What happened during those 2 years is really that I really started disconnecting with the program, with what message they wanted me to give, you know? So I started really disconnecting with their message. And I really felt like I wasn't even doing Weight Watchers, whatever the program was at that time. Like I wasn't counting my points. You get what I mean? Like I wasn't doing any of that. And I wasn't motivated by that. And I wasn't passionate about that part of the journey. I was motivated by the realness of what it's like to lose weight and keep it off. So we started really having not butting heads, but kind of like they wouldn't let me kind of be me. So for me, it was like, go for it.
I remember they like wouldn't let you wear jeans or something, or there was something
jeans, and I couldn't give out stickers, and I just like they're just like I hated their rules. I was like, the rules are dumb. Like this is not, and also so there was that part. I needed to like kind of like settle down what I was, wanted to talk about, but then I also they started to be selly. Like it was all about like selling either products or selling the calculator, whatever. And I just like hated that part. That's not me, right? So I just like wanted to talk and like be real. And I knew that was enough for someone to be successful. Anyways, so fast forward 2 years, and I quit there, and I have this plan to open up a program in Shidyak, called Your Way Weight Loss. So from the beginning, name is Your Way Weight Loss. Come up with the idea, come up with like a website, Your Way Our Support. That was always the idea. Like it's gonna be your way, but with our support. I know, yourwayoursupport.com. That still kind of really fits well. And just the fact that it's 9 years in, right? There's always changes to a business. That's just how life works, right? You have to like come up with the time, keep up with the times. So I present this idea to Jeff, and he's like, you know what? First of all, let's talk about the fact that the first question he asked me was, well, you're not a dietitian and you can't tell them what to eat. We can talk about that. I feel like we need to be totally honest about the fact that that is not our business model. That is not,
Sure.
what we sell.
Yeah.
And I was so confident when he asked me that. I'm like, people do not need me to tell them what to eat to be successful, Jeff. And of course, Jeff, not being a person that's ever had a weight problem, doesn't understand. And obviously it's 2012 too. Remember 2012? That's like, we can all think of that one business that came out kind of like 5 years before that was super popular, and it was all about meal plans. They basically told you what time to eat, what to eat, whatever, and that was super popular, and people are melting with this program. But I knew better. Like I knew that like this is something that I think people do not need and should not want. And I think they don't know what they want sometimes, but that was never my clientele from the beginning. I wanted people
No.
that had done that and knew that that is not what they wanted. So I start sending out pamphlets in the mail, little photo shoot in my friend's living room. And January 7th is when I opened in Shidyak, New Brunswick, in a little Legion.
How many people were sitting in front of you that very first day?
That first day, over 60 people showed up that morning. So what
And
happened? Go.
do you remember coming home after that? Were you like on a high? Were you like, oh my gosh? Like, were you happy with the amount of people that showed up?
Absolutely. And see how it's so relative, like how like at the end of the day, like obviously right now we're standing strong at 2,700, members, and like knowing that that was not even a thing. Like me thinking about where I am today, it was never the goal, was never even achievable in my mind. Like that I think when you sit there and you think about that, that's kind of crazy. So 65 people show up, which is just insane. And I'm just alone with my scale. That's the business model I have. People show up, I weigh them, and then they sit and then they listen to me talk for 30 minutes. Bam, done.
Do you remember your first topic by any chance?
I remember that I talked about, yep. I see that I remember where I was, like, because it's different. It's set up different than it was back then, because I didn't know that I was going to get 60, whatever. So I like set up upstairs, just like a little 10 chairs. I didn't know how many people was going to show up.
No.
So, and then chairs and chairs and chairs and chairs. So that was amazing. I remember it was more about who I was before, who I was now. So not that it was about me, but it was about my journey. People needed to know. I mean, these people just show up, right? Most of them knew who I was and knew that I was overweight before, but it was a big talk about my mindset and how that was the change that got me the success that I had at the time with my weight loss journey. I remember that. I remember I talked about like, chicken nuggets, and like just like being the person at school that like everyone dropped off their chicken nuggets to. I was the garbage can. I mean, are you surprised?
No, I mean, you were like that even when we were teaching together.
Yep, and I was a healthy weight. But you know what I mean? Like it's always been part of like who I am. Anyways, so that's 2012. So things are good. Let's just go with that. Things are good. I'm very proud of like the first year. The second year, I open up like a second day on the Thursday evenings. Now let's keep in mind that I am not a mom. So much time, huh? So much time to just like
So much time.
I'm also a full-time teacher. So let's like put that out there. Full-time teacher. So this is just a side thing. So I'm open on Thursday evenings. That wasn't busy at the beginning. It was just like something to offer the people that couldn't make it on the Saturday. There was no Facebook group. There was no like You just came in, got weighed, listened to my meeting. It wasn't filmed. It was just, you needed to be there in person.
I was going to say, if you didn't make it for the meeting, you missed the meeting. Like there was no.
I also didn't advertise much any of the success that people had with my program. Like I never there was never like a before and after. I just started doing that a little later when I got more comfortable.
Right.
It took me some time to grow that confidence in the program,
Right.
to say like this works. And because for me, it was so important that people kept the weight off, that I like didn't feel like it was time to celebrate their weight loss before they kept the weight off, because that is what was always the message was, let's keep the weight off. So c'est bien beau that I help you lose 50 pounds, but I also like, I really want to celebrate when you keep it off. And we're still very much towards that message. That value for us is important, right? That we very much value keeping the weight off at your
Absolutely.
yes. Um, so fast forward to 2014. So at this time, I know Alicia. Alicia's a friend of mine at the school. We teach together. I started we had been friends for probably 3 years when I started Your Weight Loss.
Yeah.
Alicia at the time is overweight, but is trying to get pregnant with her first kid. And that's
I had
pretty-
actually lost a
Right.
ton of weight for my wedding, going to Weight Watchers
Yes.
with Jose as my leader.
Yeah.
Lost weight the worst way possible, was just super intense. Like I remember basically coming to weigh in and getting naked. Like I was naked basically
Yeah.
on the scale. I was just ridiculous. I was that weight for about 4 seconds the day of
At
my,
your
I said,
wedding?
I do. And then gained it all back. As soon as we got home from our wedding, we found out Neil had some health issues. We found out we had fertility issues, and I just like ate my way through the whole thing.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, that is what you did. You ate. There was so much happening, and also your why was over.
yeah,
Like your why was over. Your why was very much an event. It had a
yeah,
timeline.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I at that point wasn't focused on weight loss, but I was obviously always in the back of my mind, always.
Absolutely. So Leisha's she knows that I'm starting this thing, but please also understand that like when I opened my doors in Shediac, like Leash is not my type of clientele because she's from Riverview. So I know that someone like Alicia is not going to be a member of Your Weight Loss, and I'm very much okay with it. I'm not like, you're my best friend, you should be a part of, you're my friend and you're overweight, you should do Your Weight Loss. No, it's my basically my business is so small. It's just something in my community. And if you don't know, like she lives basically 30 minutes away. So I was never expecting Alicia to join Your Weight Loss because it's really not for someone like her that lives 30 minutes away. You really need to be dedicated to come down to Shediac, a 30-minute drive. And at this point, you have Alfie. So you're certainly not driving 30 minutes, and Alfie like was a hard baby. So hard, did not want to sleep. You like
No.
shushed him so much. There was so much bouncing. All I remember is you bouncing.
Oh, thank goodness he's the world's best toddler and child, because he is making up for being the world's worst baby.
Absolutely. I think this podcast will need part 2, which is totally fine. Let's do part 1 and then
That's
part 2.
fun.
Super fun. Cat and Nat do it. And they're really popular. So let's
You
do
do
it.
whatever Cat and Nat do.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Anyways, so at this time she's kind of doing her thing and she's going through her life. And for me, I am about 20 pounds heavier than I am right now, but healthy weight. And that's the weight I had been for a decade by this time. So I think this is it. This is how I feel. This is the best me, right? So 2013, I get pregnant in 2013, and then I give birth in 2014. So 2014 was a hard year. The first part was hard because I'm pregnant and feeling like shit. And the second part is hard because now I have a newborn and a baby. So 2014 is a hard year for Jose. So 2014 rolls around and I have my kid and I basically want to quit the whole thing. Like, not even kidding. But I'm so dedicated at the same time. Like, I struggled. It's hard to motivate people to lose weight when you're gaining weight. Let's be real. And also, like, I wasn't being accountable. I wasn't following my own advice because I gained weight for Noah, and it wasn't the same thing at all. Because I gained weight in a way where I was present. I was present with the weight gain. Whereas Dia, there was a lot of macaroni. There was a lot of like ignoring the scale. I had like there was like no one to talk to about it. It was just I showed up every Saturday morning and did a meeting, but like the numbers went down. To come. You know what I mean? Like if I was probably not not motivating and gaining a bunch of weight, right? So I hit over 200 pounds when I was pregnant with Dia. Um,
Wow.
yeah, it's hard to think, huh? Think
It
about
is
that.
hard to think because I guess you did get pregnant 20 pounds heavier than you are now. So,
Yeah.
but it is crazy to think that you were at 200 pounds.
Yeah, I gave birth at like I remember giving birth and she's like, "Get on the scale." I'm like, "Oh my God, you cannot ask me to do
I
this."
actually like am having like flashback moments at this point
Yes.
too of you like freaking out about weighing that much and like, oh my gosh, you made me laugh.
Yes. So I weighed in at 207 right before
Okay.
giving birth. And I remember telling her I'm 5'9". Oh, so funny. I was like, I'm 5'9". I'm fine. That's why. Nope, you're 9 months pregnant, ready to give birth right now, and you ate a lot of macaroni. Um, so that's what the nurse wanted to tell me. So anyway, so I give birth and like I'm a 28-year-old mom and I'm trying to like be that person where I should breastfeed and I should love every moment and I should be sleeping when the baby sleeps and all that crap, right? And at the end of the day, like we all know that I love being a mom, but that I hate babies and I only figured that out after having a baby. Didn't know before. But I actually do very much dislike babies. And I'm very open about it. I don't like your baby. I don't like my babies. It's all good.
So no, I do not want to hold your baby
I do not want to hold your baby. I like to look at it and just be like, "Oh,
from
so sorry."
afar.
Yeah, and basically, like every time I see a mom with a baby, I'm like, "I'm so sorry." And then,
Me too. I think only 5 more years. You're good.
yeah,
5 more
you're good.
years.
You're gonna make it. Yeah, you're gonna make it. Anyway, so 2014 is a hard year. I want to quit. I actually want to stop. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's time, right? Because at this point, like, there's not a big investment in your weight loss. People are paying monthly. By the end of the month, it's over. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's very much like just kind of going with the flow. So, yeah, I
I
talked to my
don't
dad
think
about it. Go.
how close were you ever to like like I think I know that you weren't like super enjoying that time, but like were you actually really close to like pulling the pin?
I mean, it depends. Like, it, for someone like me, I would say yes. For me to even like say it out loud, have a
Right.
conversation, think about like how that would look like. That's
Right.
like serious, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm someone that doesn't just like talk about things that I'm not like that's not thought out.
true.
So when I talked about it to my dad, I was like, I think I'm not gonna go back. Maybe take a year off. Maybe because really, why not? You could just restart later because it's not this thing that is growing or it didn't feel like it. So I was like, I'll just start back when I feel like it kind of. So my dad did say like, he's like, you know what? You can't make a decision on your emotions right now. You're like obviously a hormonal wreck and you love it. And like I gave birth on a Saturday and I was there the Thursday. So obviously I'm a dedicated soul to what I do. And that's the part I was like, oh, they're going to think I like quit. Like, oh, I don't like that. You know what I
Do you know
mean?
what? It's not who you are.
Yeah.
That is not a part of your identity. You are not that person.
Yeah.
But I love this part of the story of your weight loss because it really can be part of any story. And there's so many moments in your life where you're about to really turn something around and we quit. And
Yeah.
whether it's a weight loss journey or whether it's, some goal you've had that you keep working towards, it just goes to show you that it wasn't this like steady incline of amazingness. Like there was a big blip
Yeah.
and you did not react on emotion. You did not give up because things were not going well. You pushed through. Even when you maybe didn't feel like it, you pushed through.
Because you know what? Showing up was better than stopping altogether. He's like, just show up. I remember him saying that to me. He's like, okay, even if your meetings suck and you're not feeling motivated, show up for us until that one time it'll be like, oh, okay, I'm feeling better. So it's just that just show up. It's more than enough. It's more than not showing up as yeah, I'm trying to say something that's not working. But you get what I mean? Like it's more than nothing. Like it's better than nothing. So just keep going. Even if you make third, like it almost felt like, is it even worth my time and worth like the feeling like of like, I'll make $30 this Saturday morning to show up there. You get what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes, and like
You
leaving
just
your
had a
infant
baby.
with your husband, timing, let's be honest, when you're breastfeeding, the maybe one of the worst parts about breastfeeding. Now, I love breastfeeding. I'm an advocate for any way of feeding your child, but I personally love breastfeeding. But how terrible is it to try and leave Like the timing and the stress of the timing. Like, okay, so I need to like, if I feed them at this time and then I need to feed them this time, will it be too soon? Can I leave them? The stress of that while trying to run a business.
I'm telling you, I hate babies. That's why. Yes to everything Alicia just said. So 2015 rolls around, and I remember end of January 2015, I hit my weight again. So I'm back.
I was going to wonder, like, when did it click? Like I think it probably had a lot to do with when you were ready for your own like journey.
Absolutely. So January 2015 is when I hit, like, and it only took me 6 months, and I was being so hard on myself.
You were
like,
so hard on yourself.
I was. So like 6 months in, and I'm back to my pre-baby weight. So January 2015 is when I like got my groove back, si tu veux, and I was ready to like push harder for your weight loss. Okay. So September was a big month where we got, we did it was like a 4 month, you could pay for 4 months at a time. It was like this like thing, I had never done that before. Usually you would just pay monthly, but it got busier and busier and busier that where it was like so hard to manage. I'm like, no, everyone's going to pay at the same time, and you're going to prepay for the whole. I want them to stay till January. I want 4 months of their time to try to, like, I've always wanted people to give themselves time. And so I came up with that idea of doing a 4-month chunk, and 250 people joined that September.
Stop.
It was insane.
Of 2015?
Yeah. It was insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't remember it being that many.
It was insane. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. By the end of 2016, I'm at like 400. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you have to keep them, and you have to like to get to 400 just the year before, like the year after, you get what that means, right? It's not just like the 250 stay, right? In January they didn't renew, and like so like that was a big moment, like 2015, September 2015. So see how I was going to quit a year before, and then the next year I get that motivation, the regular Jose motivation, and then bam, like September. So let's stop here, because 2016 you're a big part of that, and we could really go from 2016. That was the first 5 years, and then we can talk about you and 2016. In 2017, those are big years for your weight loss.
So fun. Is next year going to be our 10-year anniversary?
So it's 10 years for like since it started, but 5 years for you. Like that's your 5-year anniversary.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we turn the cusp of you and I being connected longer than not.
Yeah, that is like it's like equal. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what are we going to do?
Oh my God.
We're going to plan a party?
We're going more than a party. Like I thought of it. And I was like, wouldn't it be amazing if we like convinced our financial advisor that
which is Jeff, her husband.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. To go on a trip, the 4 of us.
Like all the time I say to him, I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is a business write-off. He's like, I'm pretty sure the government of New Brunswick disagrees with you. Come on, come on.
I would love to do something extra special to really celebrate 10 years of creating a business. And, I know it's a big year for you as well. For 5 years, I think that's amazing. So like, I just feel like it's there's a photo shoot. I mean, of course, but we need to go bigger, and I hope COVID's not going to ruin that for what I'm thinking. But you know what? I'm just going to go with whatever the restrictions are at that time. We're going to be right at the limit of the restrictions. The restrictions are right here, COVID. We're going to be right there, right at the finish line. We might go a little over. But yeah, I just like I want something epic where we're like, not just us at Titan Boar saying cheers to 10 years. Like that's what we always do. We're so boring. We never celebrate anything, and we always say we will, but we're just like, cheers to how amazing we are and how much that was a success,
Do you know why we don't like to even take that time? Because we're workhorses.
Exactly. We are like the next thing.
We're like, okay, next. We like finish the event the next day. We're like, we had told ourselves we're gonna like take just a couple days off. We're gonna chill, and it was literally the Monday we have like an 8-hour meeting, and we're like, we're gonna do this.
Yeah, we worked for 8 hours on Monday. the 2 days after the event, we're like, okay, what's next? Like, what are we doing next? Yeah, no. And I see Kat and Nat the same. They have that like they're like not even taking time to, but I do think they celebrate more than you and I.
Oh yeah, they live it up. I mean, maybe we need to get you drinking a little bit more. That needs to be
Oh,
a part of that's part of
I
my
am
10-year plan.
super fun without alcohol. You stop
You
it.
are super fun.
We need to get you extra alcohol-y so that you can dance. Like I can out dance you any day.
100%.
Wanted to clear the air.
Actually, I take that back. You can continue to be sober because you can be the designated driver.
There you go. And I need to get you more drunk so that we get more fun. Perfect.
This sounds like an amazing plan.
Amazing plan. I'm on it. Like I'm thinking about how amazing that would be. And I'm like, we're obviously going to have to host an event, a 10-year, like something.
Oh, I got
the members
goosebumps.
online. Like there's 2021 is our year. Like we're planning it right now as we speak. Okay. Thank you guys for listening. It's been 30 minutes. So that was a quick 30 minutes, right? For us anyways.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much for listening. This is part 1. We will continue. Our next podcast will be part 2. We'll make sure of that. Thank you so much for listening. Find us on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook under Your Way Weight Loss, or our website, yourwayoursupport.com. Tell everyone about our podcast. Send us, not send us, but click the thing.
Subscribe. Give us a 5-star
follow.
review.
5-star review. Only 5-star. Nothing else.
Share with your friends.
All of it. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.